Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Mano777, and we're back inside of Destiny here with your Solo Nightfall strike. It's the Blighted Chalice. We're going to be killing Malok. Got some really nice burns for us this week. Let's go through the narration. I'll show you the weapons and armor that I'm using, and we'll go from there.
The Taken King is dead, yet still his armies writhe and claw at our worlds. Even as you led the assault on the Dreadnought, a powerful Taken war beast fled for the safety of the shrine to Oryx. The would-be Prince Malok works to perfect a dark sorcery. He must be destroyed.
Alright, so this is the Malok strike. There is a bunch of void you need to worry about, and then just some enemies you need to think about. You can see that I am using the new Nova Mortis, mostly because I love Thunderlord, and because it will do some really nice work with its explosive rounds on killing a lot of those enemies. So, really excited to use that in my first Nightfall with Void Burn, especially nice to have a long-range void weapon other than Truth. Really excited about that. Okay, so anyways, first step, we'll take out all of those Taken Scions. They're not very difficult, but if you allow them to split and you get up close to them, they have a very good chance to get to kill you really quickly. So the modifiers this week are Void Burn, Juggler, Grounded, and Catapult. You're going to see me use Void Burn and Catapult a number of times. The first thing I'm doing in this room is trying to kind of get these guys to run together, get all the Thrall to get together in a big group and follow me. There are a couple of safe spots, and you can see right there I kill a whole ton of them. If you go over here to the right, there's going to be a bunch of Curse Thrall that you're going to have to watch out for. So just word to the wise, make sure you're watching out for that. It does not take a whole lot of damage when you are in the air, since Grounded is on, to die. So just be really careful of that if you are jumping. I'm pretty evasive in this opening, so you just have to make sure that you aren't if you're jumping in the air, you know what you're doing. So like right there, the Curse Thrall, I knew that I had to get away from him. I knew it was going to be bad, but as much as possible, try and stay on the ground when you're able to. Again, ready to grab the Tomb Husk, move it on in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try as much as possible to take out the spawns of the Thrall that are coming in with my Voidwalker. If you're using a Night Stalker, which is another Void class you could use, this would be a good opportunity to tether. Right here, I'm going to Nova Bomb right there, and I've got Vortex on so that all the guys that run out through there are actually going to be going to trigger my my lifesteal and energy drain. So pretty excited about that. It's a pretty fun build to run on this one. It's awesome to see so many Thralls just explode really quickly. You can see here, I'm very safe. The only thing you have to worry about is that Hallowed Knight. So I'm going to try and take him out and at least get these guys grouped up in a position that I like. So right there's a group of Thrall that I can take out. And again, with the ability of the Warlock to get the life back really quickly with a melee, I'm just making sure that I run around and take out all of the adds that I can from a distance. And if one gets a little too close, just melee him. Pretty easy. Nothing too crazy. In fact, here, I'm only using my primary weapon a little bit, so Juggler isn't really even an issue. You can see that with nothing Manacles, it's pretty easy to clear this area. And it's actually pretty fun to do, too. The only thing that I would say is that sometimes nothing Manacles doesn't trigger the way you think it would. I was hoping that there would be some Thrall back behind me before I went up those stairs that would die, but just word to the wise. Now, right there, I sense that Curse Thrall is there. I get away, because Curse Thralls, especially if you are jumping in the air trying to get away, it can be tricky, and you can wipe from them. So I'm trying to keep the Curse Thralls from distance, and for some reason, the Curse Thralls will teleport back up to the right side if you go up over there. So I'll look over here to the right. So word to the wise, if you're over here trying to just chill out and stuff like that, the Curse Thralls are going to end up right next to you. There is technically a camping spot over on the right side, or kind of a cheese over on the far right of where I was standing, but honestly, I don't feel like you need to use it. Alright, grab that Tomb Husk, move it on in over there. You'll have one last wave to take care of, and just follow the same instructions I've been doing. You'll see me do very similar things, like Nova Bombing the door right as they come out. using my grenades and nothing manacles to just absolutely rip through tons of enemies. If you are jumping in the air, be very careful. Luckily, there's only a couple of enemies that can do long range distance damage. So I know that there's a bunch of Thrall chasing me. I can jump in the air. I can take the chance. Right here, thank you, Warlock Jump. Thank you, Warlock Jump. You're the best jump in the game. The only thing you're good for is sword skating. That's about it. Anyway, so going on through this, you can see here I'm just running in a circle. Again, just trying to get them to follow a path so I can gather them up and then hit it with my nades. At this point, I'm going to try and take out the knight, but again, I'm always aware of if there's cursed thralls around, making sure that if they are around that I get away from them as quickly as possible. You could use Nova Mortis and blast through this a little bit sooner, but I'm trying to conserve some ammunition here. And that's pretty much the strat. You can see here a bunch of them are going to come over from this side. There's only a couple more thralls, and luckily, really, there's no void damage in this specific area. Just a couple of times when at that first opening, there's going to be those taken guys that are going to split. Just make sure you get some distance on them. Making sure I grab as much ammo as possible and take care of that last tomb husk. All right, moving on to the next section. This is always everyone's favorite part, where you can spawn a lot of ammo here. Make sure that if you're using a Voidwalker, you don't accidentally hit yourself with your own grenades, because that's a thing. Same thing with the Nova Bomb. I actually died one time because I accidentally, up at the boss, actually Nova Bombed a little bit too close to a wall, and it ended up hitting me. Alright, so next you're going to have a bunch of Thrall. They're going to come up. Same thing. Use your grenades. Take them out pretty quickly. Again, a really good spot if you are running a Night Stalker. If you're running a Defender Titan, I'd really recommend running Armamentarium just so you can get double grenades. It's going to make things work really well in your favor. There's going to be a lot of opportunities to use that. Now, there's a couple of wizards here that I'm going to take out. There's one that presents itself right in front, so I'm going to take her out as quickly as I possibly can. But there are a couple times where I actually do not go after wizards just because I think they'll take too much time. And because I know that at the end of the boss, like, I have a good chance of wiping because there's a lot more void damage near the end. A lot more possibilities of that happening. So right there, I want the wizard to die. Again, trying to get my energy drain and my grenade melees to proc there. Keep moving past this section and life is good. There's a couple enemies back behind there. You don't have to worry about them. Now here, I'm used to there being a lot of Taken and a Taken Wizard and snipers on the right side, but honestly, it's just more Thrall and Wizards.
There is power here.
Again, same kind of pattern that you do in the opening room. Try and gather them up. Try and get them to move together in a big group so that they actually are easier to kill with your grenades. If not, if there's one or two little strays, you can just go ahead and take a second and not worry about them and just take them out with your primary. All right, so this next section you actually cannot just run through. At least I feel like running through is going to be a detriment. So there's a lot of enemies, especially those acolytes, that are going to have some type of void weapon. So you want to take them out as quickly as possible. And from a distance, you can see there they're moving to cover. They're moving all around. They're not really going to be that nasty in terms of damage if you keep your distance. So you can see there they're firing at me, but none of them seem to hit. But they try and draw you forward. See, right there, they start to actually take me out. I was a little bit risky there when I made the jump, but nothing too crazy. Again, with the scatter grenades, it's pretty easy to clear the section. I start going to town with my Nova Mortis here because I just want to start using it a little bit more. And I don't want to die to just acolytes that are going to be hitting me with guns. And I want to start clearing this area a little bit quicker. Honestly, I probably took a little bit too much time in the middle of this strike. You could probably be a little bit more aggressive if you want. But again, I know that at the end, I want as much time as possible, because there's a lot more void damage in a lot of places. You can easily die. All right, so there's a knight up there. There are going to be 2 wizards on the sides, and they, as well as a couple other knights. So I'm going to be able to take out 1 or 2 of the knights, but my goal here is to get through this next section as quickly as possible. Even if a wizard shows up, try and stay on the ground as much as possible. So you see there, I do a little jump to keep my momentum. Just a little bit of a jump, and that way when I take damage, it's not too bad. Now I end up wiping accidentally because I hit myself with my own grenade, so I just took that out. so we can skip forward. But this next room, you've got a bunch of taken knights and devoured phalanxes, as well as a bunch of blights that you need to take care of. There are going to be a couple of snipers. Nothing in here is bad in terms of void damage, but there are some things in here, like, say, for example, the blights. If you get too close, it's going to be really easy for you to die to that. Again, since Juggler's on, try and mix up your primary. Try and mix up your... try and mix up and use your heavy weapon from time to time, just so you can get some more ammo. There is usually a special ammo crate over at the side, and I'm checking it over on the right-hand side. Again, take out those blights, take out those phalanxes, especially because those shields can do some pretty good damage if you're too close to them. Okay, nothing too crazy. There's a couple of ads that will spawn in, some new snipers that will spawn in. Once you've done that, the nice thing about energy drain is you get your life back. That's going to be really helpful later on. And again, there will be one little taken captain, or devoured captain, as it were, that's going to spawn there and start throwing stuff at you. They're a little bit more annoying because they've got shields that are going to be a little bit more resistant to void damage. But once you take out the shield, it's not too nasty. Now, I noticed that I've got a couple of special ammo packs here. I'm going to use that. I am not going to pick that up yet, mostly because I know that there's going to be a bunch of taken that I'm going to have to knock out here in this room, and they'll teleport all over, and it's annoying. So just make sure, if you want to use your primary here, that's probably a little bit smarter. But I knew I had that special ammo box, and I was hoping they would just walk down the line. Go ahead and take care of that blight on the back right side. Grab your special ammo, and you're going to roll through the next section. Now, like I said in that opening room, I accidentally grenaded myself because I got a little bit too close to a phalanx. Just like I said that in the next room, it's really easy for you to use your super ability and knock yourself out if you're using this build and accidentally kill yourself. So if that happens, just be careful. You'll see I'm a lot more cautious about how I use my Nova Bomb here in this next section. All right, so the strategy for killing Malok is essentially clear one side that he's not on, then clear the side that he is on, or see if he can move over to the other side, and use scatter grenades to kill the ads. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this back area where I'm looking is clear. So first step there is grenade that area. The phalanxes always seem to come in at different spots, so I try to be aware of that. And I always try and take cover when I'm going up against Malok so that he can't hit me if those phalanxes are going too far. But you can see here, first step, I took care of all those enemies. I've got my triple tap sniper. I'm going to do some work here. Now, this is a pretty long fight. I'm pretty careful because I want to make sure that I don't die to Malok. Because at the end, if you get him just to proc a little bit too soon, you're going to have a lot more void damage to deal with. His void balls that shoot at the end are pretty nasty. Okay, so right here you can see there's a bunch of ads. Take them out with your grenades. Pretty simple to do. Again, if you're using a hunter or a titan, I'd recommend maybe a spike grenade or a vortex grenade. Those will work pretty well, especially if you get those right next to the enemies. But scatter grenades are just too much fun. Now, see right there, super risky, but I took it. And what happened when I wiped the first time is I actually jumped up as I did that. Remember that when you're a Warlock and you do your Nova Bomb, you automatically do a little bit of a jump. So just be wary of that. I almost hit the ceiling there, but I remembered not to jump on that last run, so not too bad. So we're going to just continue this process for a while. And it's just a matter of getting Malok to go through his 3 stages. The first stage is just him shooting with his boomer shots. Then he starts to shoot fire, and then he actually starts to hit you with the void burn. So you can see me just going through this. There's really not much to talk about here other than just make sure you clear your ads in the center, then choose a side, clear that side, and then move on. So you'll see once the devoured captains start coming in, they're the ones that have the shields and they can start throwing the shade, as it were, at you, that I start using Nova Mortis to take them out a little bit sooner. But other than that, it's just chuck grenades, run out and get ammo when you're safe. That's one thing I like to do, is always clear a side so you're always safe, because when you're in that section that says shadow touched, you're not going to get your life back. Just frustrating and annoying. But anyways, I'm going to let you watch this gameplay. You can see he's in his second phase here. I'll talk a little bit when he comes back and does his third phase. Alright, so he is going to his third phase. Malok changes tactics. This is where he's going to start shooting Void Burn at you. Now you can see here that I crouch in this spot so that he cannot trigger his Void Bombs to hit you. Just make sure you stay in cover so he can't see you. At this point with the final phase, two things you got to worry about. If you're using scatter grenades, you got to watch out for the captains are going to be throwing the shade at you. They actually can hit your scatter grenades and make them proc right in your face, which is kind of annoying. So you're going to see here when I get a good second and a good angle, I'm actually going to take out those captains. He moves over. I'm going to take out those captains, and then the rest is easy, just like before. Just use your scatter grenade to take it out. But again, this is really nice usage of Nova Mortis, and I'm really glad that they buffed the stability on it. It's a lot of fun to use now. It's almost like I can snipe with this thing. But you can see there again, the captain is just kind of hanging out. I'm going to take him out really quickly. Nothing too nasty. But that's basically what you're going to do now. That's the only addition of things you're going to do. But I am not going to engage Malok at any point during this section. And the reason why is because if he even sees you for a second, he throws Void Bombs at you. And you'll see me that I actually go out. I try and move out. As soon as he starts to throw those Void Bombs at you, get out and back up. Make sure that both sides are clear before you engage him, because if you don't, it's really easy to die. And like, there are some people who will push. But again, I'm looking at the clock. I know that I don't have enough time to redo this, at least to get a gold score. One thing you can do is you can use your grenades and your scatter grenades to proc this. Now, the reason I use my Nova Bomb there is I want to create a safe space in case if Malok actually accidentally comes over to the left side. I want to make sure that I've got a place that I can be that's safe, that I'm not going to take any damage, and that I'll get my life back. So right here, same process. Take out the Devoured Captain. You can see there he throws shade. I have to take the risks to do that. But again, as fast as possible, take out those Void Bombs. That is probably the most dangerous source of Void damage in this entire strike. Other than that, it's not too nasty of a strike. It's actually pretty easy. It's very doable and very soloable by all classes. The biggest thing you got to watch out for is those Void Balls at the end. Scatter Grenades just happen to be a lot of fun to use. Again, same thing. I'm going to take out the Blights. I'm actually going to push out, see if I can't get a little bit of ammo, especially this heavy ammo pack. I want to use that because I am going to use that at the end to burn him. And because I just, again, I use my speaker, or excuse me, my headphones, and I'm able to actually hear when those Void Bombs come at me. So again, try to stay alive, clear those sides. Not too nasty. Again, as long as you take your time and make sure you clear out all the sides. Now, if you try and rush through it and sit in the shadow touched area where you don't get your life back, this thing can be kind of a nightmare. You can definitely opt to do it, and that'd probably be a fun challenge, is to try and do it without taking out any of the Blights. But I didn't really want to do that for a solo Nightfall. I think that'd be kind of a fun thing to do, as maybe a group or something like that. A solo Nightfall without hitting any of the Blights might be kind of fun. But anyway, that's just food for thought. Again, see if you can trigger his Void Bombs, but as soon as they start to get to a point where you can control, move out of the way. And very, very close to the end, you can see here, there's going to be one more wave of ads. Now, at that point, back up, making sure you're in a spot where you can get some life back. I almost had an issue at this part because I didn't get my life back. And it always takes a little bit of time for the shadow-touched areas to fall away and to despawn, which is a little bit annoying. But just got to take your time, make sure you're in cover. You can see here, line of sight is a big thing. Staying out of the line of sight of Malok is huge. Sometimes it's bad because you want to shoot him, and you'll see me at the end actually go start chasing him. Another reason why I really liked Nova Mortis is Feeding Frenzy. I knew there was going to be a lot of low-level enemies that would be able to hit with that and get some good kills with that. And it's going to do a lot of damage because it's Void Burn and it's strong and it's a long-distance weapon. And it'll put out a lot more damage than Truth. Now, if you want to do Truth, that's not a problem. But I just decided to use Nova Mortis since it's the new weapon. Now, right there, I almost died. I do believe these are a one-shot kill. If one of those Nova Bombs hit you, it is a one-shot kill. So there is no room for error. You want to make sure you take those out. No exceptions. If you let even one of those touch you, I believe it is a wipe. So here you can see I'm pretty cautious. I'm trying to chase him down, and I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, dude, come on. Just want to finish up the Nightfall here. But just be careful if you start to move out, that you get to a position where you can knock him out. And again, I'm going to be safe here. I'm going to throw my bombs here. If I wanted to, I probably could just go around the corner and Nova Bomb him. But again, I don't have any time to waste. I think if it got down to like the bare last second, I would probably just use that. But right there, Nova Mortis came to the rescue. Nothing too crazy. Again, you can use Truth if you want, but nothing too crazy.
From the Taken that they took through taking.
So from this,
Without Malok
we'll let him go through the narration.
Energy here, the blight will abate, and Oryx's shrine will quiet. That is my dream, Guardian. That one day the moon will lie dead and still, like the tomb it is.
So from this chest, you can get the Hood of Malok, which is pretty nice, and a class item, if you are interested in checking that out and getting that. So guys, thank you so much for watching the Nightfall Strike. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. You guys seem to be digging this a lot. At first, when I started doing this, I wasn't sure if people were going to enjoy it or not, but people have seemed to pick up on it. So thank you so much for watching. Yeah, and this is just my strategy that I'm using. There are a lot of other people out there who are running different strats, so maybe you want to check them out as well. But guys, thank you so much for watching my channel. Got the gold score, even though it took me a little bit of time. Got some boots, nothing too crazy, nothing to write home about. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button for more Destiny content. If you like something in this video, a positive rating would be greatly appreciated. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you got from the Nightfall. And guys, I will see you next time in the universe of Destiny.